And each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective.
Well, hello and good afternoon. I just don't know where we're going to start today. So much information about this individual, and they have not been a career politician. You know how you can find career politicians with scores and scores and scores of information all over the internet. This gal has pretty much topped them. She's topped all of them because she's got enough information for us to go on and on forever. She was one of the women that we talked about, not on this podcast, but it was a bevy of women on another. I think we had, about 3 weeks ago, where we talked about a whole lot of gals that were out there just doing their thing. She was one of those women. We didn't get the opportunity to highlight her specifically, but we did talk. I should say we didn't talk extensively, but we did speak about her and bring her name up. Tiffany Henyard. We are looking today at a little bit of history, but here's what I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing so much on her as I am the actual township. Okay. Sandy, I'm not playing with you today. Behave. I'm looking at the township that she's responsible for. It is the reason why I believe there's so much mud being thrown on the wall about her. I believe she is a distraction. And the reason why I say that is because that is the largest township in Illinois. And she is not only the mayor of Dolton, but she's also the supervisor of the township of Thornton. So, what does that mean in the scheme of things? When I look at the amount of illegal people that are here, when I look at the asylum seekers, and we throw the word asylum around. I think it's like a buzzword for the United States to just allow anybody in that wants to come in, because anybody can say that I'm coming here for asylum, but it has to be proven. And so because it has to be proven, I guess maybe they let folks in, and after that, then they just go ahead and say, yeah, you're here for asylum. Yeah, you were being harmed. By that time, they've already got a job. They already got a social security card. They've already got everything that they need. Now, some people are going to argue that, but that's okay. The point that I'm making today is I believe that this is the reason why we're seeing so much confusion about Tiffany Henyard. And as we all know, there's some Manchurian candidates out there in the world, and I believe she's one of them, in that I don't even think she really knows the full totality as to why they have her there. There is no way that you're going to take somebody who was convicted. Was she even convicted? I know she was arrested. She was arrested for the theft and breaking into parked cars. She was arrested for that. Now we know that because that was public. We know that. But for her to not just be the mayor of that small city, making $250,000 per annum in a city that only has 20,000 citizens or residents. I'm laying down the groundwork, you guys. You know, I have to lay it all down. And then after that, we're going to look at some of these articles together, some for the first time for me, because the only ones that I've seen are those that I've, glanced through and read a couple of times and did the small research for the last time that we were together. However, here's what I want to say. I want to lay the groundwork, and I want you to let me know what you think about this. And is there any truth? Do you agree with what I'm saying, or don't you? And if you don't, tell me why. The largest township in Illinois is run by Tiffany Henyard. The majority of all of the social programs that were put in place were from the former gentleman who was there for several years, rest his soul. He passed away in 2022. And I believe his first name was Frank. Don't remember the last name. I know it was an Italian name, like a Bericelli or something like that. But this gentleman was there for close to, just several years. He died in 2022 of natural causes, they state, at his home. She is the supervisor of that area, and she is the mayor of Dolton. I believe it's specifically because of the township. If they want to bring in as many people as they can without any pushback, then don't you think they would put somebody there who's had something in the past to lose, who's had some safety and security to lose? It's my inevitable goal to find out who's financing her. Because for a city to only have 220,000 people in it, and they're already $7 million in debt, I'm trying to figure out how they're able to pay her $250,000 a year. Let's get into some of these stories. Let's take a look, first of all, at this. It says the majority of Dolton voters favor recalling Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because this was an issue, and a lot of people wanted to know, well, why is she still there? How come she's not gone? And I'll give you some background if you don't know who she is. I'll give you a lot of background, but first let's look at this, because she has a video where she was saying basically, ain't no stopping us now. I'm in here. Yeah, you can't stop me. I am progress. So let's get into this story. It says the majority of Dalton voters favored recalling Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Dalton voters favored recalling her, and more than 50% decided on Tuesday to recall the mayor. Voters that wanted to have her recalled, however, a court stepped in to decide whether the votes are legal. In February of 2021, Henyard was sworn in as Dalton's first Black mayor. But during this election cycle, 5 village trustees ran a successful recall campaign against her. The trustees accused her of corruption and of hiring at least one registered sex offender. Before the vote totals were fully counted on that Tuesday, Henyard had said that she was disappointed in an appellate court's last-minute decision to allow the counting of the recall votes. Here's a quote. Let me turn my little heater closer to me. And you guys, we casual today, so if you came in your pump Jensen's and your bow tie, I'm sorry and disappointed, because we real casual today. Here's what she had to say. I'm disappointed in the appellate court's decision requiring illegal recall votes to be counted today in today's election. The merits of this case are clear. It's an unconstitutional referendum. I don't know who gave her these words, but unconstitutional referendum. And while there is certainly no time to print new ballots, there is no valid reason to compel election authorities to count the votes, she says. Henyard went on to say that I had 82% of the support of the electorate in 2021's election. The political opportunists behind this recall effort may very well regret asking the court to allow the recall votes to be counted, as they might not like the results. 56% of Dalton's voters on that Tuesday favored recalling her. Quote, we are grateful, honored, and blessed to the voters of Dalton who firmly stood up against this morally corrupt mayor, it says. Never in the history of our town have we witnessed a mayor who has chosen to ignore ethics and the law. The right decision has been made by voters, said Dalton trustee Jason House. This is what he said in a statement, but it didn't make a difference because she's still there. She's still there. Let's look at some of the recall situations and why. Well, first off, now that I read that, let's just go ahead on here to January 4th. Let's read that. Let's see what was going on for January 4th. Let me change out this screen and give you guys another one, because That was then when they were trying to recall her. Here is the just this past month. Yeah, just this past month. Where are we? I don't like these things. Oh, here we go. There we are. I'm using the other side now because I thought maybe that was the reason why we were having problems. I'm over here on the side that's for, what is this thing called? You know, the other side, the one that I don't like, Sandy. I don't like, I use Chrome, but it's garbage. And this is now the one that I'm using is, I forgot the name of it. It's the other one with the little guy. Help me, Smithers. It's his. Okay. Anyway, let me make it a little bit bigger so that we can all share it. Okay. So this is January 4th. This is a month ago. It says, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been sued by the Dolton Village trustees Jason House, Brittany Norwood, Kiana Belcher, and Tammy Brown, and the village clerk Allison Key, alleging, among other things, that the mayor forged checks by using the clerk's stamp on village checks without authority, and for failing or refusing to provide access to the village financial records, including credit card statements, and for removing the clerk's access to the bank account information without approval. Now, the complaint was filed December 22nd, 2023. A memorandum of law supporting a motion and the motion for a temporary restraining order and or preliminary injunction was filed on January 3rd, 2024. It says, from among the complaint, Henyard issued checks using the signature stamp of the village clerk without authorization. Henyard has not presented checks for signature for October and November of 2023, leaving approved bills unpaid or simply issuing checks without the clerk's signature. They also state in the lawsuit that Henyard has refused to issue payments for invoices approved by the village board. Henyard caused the clerk's name to be removed from a bank account with the access that caused other names to be added without approval of the clerk. Now, according to their, I believe it's their bylaws in that area, it has to have the clerk's signature and the mayor's. It can't just have one signature on there, but she apparently moved them, took them off of it altogether. Henyard has restricted access to the trustees to certain financial information of the village and has failed to provide monthly financial reports and credit card statements to the trustees. It says here to see for yourself what a completely abusive and south end of a horse she is. Whoa. They say you can, I'm not reading that. That's mean. I'm not going to read it, but I'll quote it. Quote, to see for yourself what a completely abusive and south end of a horse Mayor Tiffany Henyard makes of herself at every meeting of the village of Dalton. See their meeting videos on YouTube. Make sure to bring your popcorn, some popcorn. The January 2nd, 2024 meeting was especially entertaining, and that's a closing quote for me. I'm just going to close it. So let's see. This is the meeting videos. Let's see what they got to show. Oh, well, I'm going to show you one of these anyway. I'm going to keep this up here. I'm going to show you guys one of these meetings anyhow. Let me get over here. First off, let me let you guys see the Thornton County page. It's a website. Let me let you see this. You guys, this is important because even though we're sort of relaxing while we're talking about this, I do believe, honestly, that the purpose for her being there is simply to just hand over Thornton Township. It is the largest township. There are several cities in that township. And I don't understand how anyone that's like this can actually be the supervisor. How do you go from breaking into cars and having a mugshot to this? How does this happen? Especially with Black folk. I'm going to lay it down there. Especially with Black folk. I'm going to say that. So this is the Thornton County Townships website. This is the website. What did Chatty Dad one says? They done left the door to Henyard open. The fox and the wolf are in. Funny. That was funny. I like that one. That was cute. Let me put it up here for a second. There you go. That was funny. All right, so this is their actual website, and it's all about her, which is so creepy to me because generally, when you go to like a website of a township or a city or something like that, they may have these things on there, but they definitely don't have the supervisor on every single thing. I mean, she's ubiquitous. Okay, so these are the senior lunches. There she is for the senior lunches. But again, these are things that were already in place. As I just mentioned about the former township's supervisor. Let me tell you who that is, okay? The township of Dolton. Of it's not Dalton. Okay. All right, let's look at this here. All righty. Now, the man that was there prior to that, I just had his information up here. Child, y'all know I be Lucy and a lot of stuff. I be acting just like Lucy sometimes. His name was going back in my history. And you guys, the reason why it shocked me to see him from him to her was that if they have a lot of elderly people in that area, his name is Frank Zuccarelli. Let me let you guys look at his face. Let me let you see him. This was the man that they claim put a lot of those things in place. And it doesn't mean that she didn't. I'm just stating the fact that he did. He set a lot of stuff in place to help the community. He's apparently a man who was from that neighborhood, was raised there. And so I just don't understand why we're looking at her as if she's some big savior. But then again, she's put herself out there to be that person. She's really about herself. Here he is, you guys. And tell me if you've seen this guy before, because I've never seen him before. I never knew anything about these little bitty areas out there in Chicago, Illinois, any of that. Cook County political heavyweight. Focus on that. Focus on that. Political heavyweight, which means he's been around for a minute. So how did we go from this to her? This is not the former mayor. This was the Thornton Township's former supervisor. It says the Thornton Township supervisor helped launch numerous Illinois political careers, prioritized social services, and his South Suburban Township, that's in his township, and was no stranger to controversy, it says. I'm here. I'm just making sure that you guys can still see it because I switched it over to the immersive reader. Let me let you get it. There. All right. He died at 70 years old. Now, let's listen to the accolades of this person and juxtapose that to her. The Thornton Township supervisor helped launch numerous Illinois political careers, prioritized social services in his South Suburban Township, and he was no stranger to controversy. The article reads, this is him. I don't know how we go from him to her unless she's put there on purpose. South Suburban political powerhouse Frank Zuccarelli, who for decades helped launch careers in social programs, died that Monday of that year. What year was this? This was 2022. Okay. He died at the age of 70. The longtime Thornton Township supervisor and Democratic committee person was pronounced dead in his South Holland home, apparently of natural causes, the official suburb said. Now, Supervisor Zuccarelli, an early supporter of the then Senate hopeful Barack Obama in 2004, was an essential backer for many candidates looking for a boost from voters in Chicago and their suburbs. He held a key vote within the county, the Cook County Democratic Party, most recently wielding that leverage in his party slating last month. And that was obviously before he passed. Supervisor Zarelli served as a chairman of the South Suburban College Board of Trustees during an unparalleled tenure that saw the school grow to the third largest community college system in the United States. Quote, he was a champion of equity and inclusion and breaking down barriers to higher education. This comes from Lynette Stokes, the SSC president. Now, how do you go from this guy to that girl? And I don't mean Marlo Thomas. I mean, how do you go from that to that? Unless it's a plan. And I do believe, again, I'm going to say it again. I think that it's because of the fact that she has the largest township, that they put her there because they needed to be able to put people in place in that township, that they needed to be able to bring busloads and busloads and busloads. And without being in that city, I don't know what's really happening. I wish there was a camera that I could see in. But to be honest with you, that's what I think. I don't see her as being somebody that they wanted to have. Okay? I don't think that that's somebody that they just had to have. And I believe that the reason why the recall did not go through, not only because of the legal stuff that they said that was pending, I believe that it did not go through specifically because they need her there. They need her in that position. Just in one city alone, one of their cities alone has over 20,000 people living in that township. Let me go to the top of this document. Blue Island, Illinois is one of the cities in that township. It's in Cook County, Illinois, located about 16 miles south of the Chicago Loop. Blue Island is adjacent to the city of Chicago and shares its northern boundary with that city's Morgan Park neighborhood. The population was 22,558 at the top of the 2020 United States Census. Blue Island was established in the 1830s as a way station for settlers traveling. Okay, but that's the reason. I tell you now, that's the reason. Let me look at the demographics. All righty, the population and let's look at the people, ethnicity. Wow, okay. In 2010, it was 4,990 white alone, non-Hispanic, 7,173 Black or African American non-Hispanic. The population in 2020 was 3,442 white, not Hispanic, and Blacks were 6,817. The Hispanic or Latino, I'm going to let you see the screen because I'm looking at it from on this side. But I got to let you see it because remember, even though I pull a lot of this stuff for us to read, I don't look at it until we are together. I want you to see something. So this, I'm accurate. What I was feeling in my gut, I'm accurate. Look at the Hispanic or Latino, whether they be Black or white descent. 11,133 was the population in 2010, and in 2020, 11,720. Let that sink in. That was in 2020. Bingo bango, this is the reason why she sits in the position that she does right now, because they need to have their own city in Illinois. They need to have their own township in Illinois. Mark my words and take the calendar, write it down. Write it down. Because remember, we went digging on this together. All of this we digging at together. There it is on the screen. There is my idea, my little in my gut. That's the reason. They have to have her there. They have to have enough controversy going on in that area so that when they can her, kick her out, promote her, pull her up, whatever. Because $250,000, mind you, this is not the city that she's the mayor of. This is one of the cities that she is the supervisor of, the township's supervisor of. Hey, 18th letter. So you see, as we're digging this up together, as we're pulling all of this up together, we're discovering things that I think a lot of people are overlooking right now. It's really easy for us to just look at the crap that they're throwing on the wall based on her antics and her outlandish behavior. Very easy for us to look at that. And it's very easy for us to get distracted. But if we look at the numbers, and if we look at the ethnicity, and if we look at the cities and the state that we're talking about, bingo, bango, we get the answer. Hispanic or Latino in just one of the cities that she is a supervisor over in the township, okay, is 40, let's use 2020s, 51.95% Hispanic. Baby, that's where they all going. That's where they all going. And that's the reason why she's paid, because somebody is padding that. We have a lot of NGOs right now that are padding a lot of stuff, a lot of non-governmental agencies. We looked at it the other night when we discussed how they were having housing in Maine, paid housing for 2 years. We just covered another story the other day. Now they're giving paid housing for 2 years in Maine to the Hispanics, as well as the Africans, as well as all the asylum seekers that came over and applied and made the application deadline. They're getting housing for 2 years for free. And if they don't have transportation, that's okay, because they've also given them, welcome to the podcast for those who are coming in now. They're giving them transportation because they may not have a car. So if they need to go to the grocery store or the doctor, they've given them a bus line that goes through there that's free to those individuals who live there. These are brand new complexes that, let me say this because this is going to seem like a contradiction. They used to be military housing, and they've gone through and they've gutted them. To my knowledge, it was a gutting, and they redid everything. And so now they basically have brand new houses. My point is, this young lady is having a great time right now, but she's not going to have a good time once this is over. Now, here's what will happen. If they promote her up and she goes up and she goes up, I don't even know if she's graduated any colleges. So I don't know if she's bully or not. I don't know if she's, into any of the sororities. I don't know that. I don't know if she's gone to college. I would imagine that if you'd gone to college at that young age in 2016, she wouldn't have been breaking into cars in Chicago, South Side. I can't imagine why you would want to resort to that. However, stranger things have happened. But something tells me that if she goes up the ranks, she's going to continue to be a buffoon. She'll continue to be used as a whipping post, as a joke, because this is a heck of a distraction. When you want to figure out why and how, look at the numbers. 51.95% are Hispanic in just one of her towns. And there was a conversation going on with one of the trustees not long ago about how they were going to, in the city of Dolton, how they were going to deal with the high influx of immigrants, illegal aliens coming in seeking asylum. Now she has gone on what she's done. I really wish that I could just focus on, and I'm going to focus on this. We're going to keep reading about this. Even if it's just an article every other day or every few days, we're going to look at this at the township. We're going to look at it. It's a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of elderly people in that area, a load of elderly. $1 million giveaway they're giving. Let me take you guys to this, because I don't understand how, if you are $7 million, again, I don't know if it's the city of Dolton or is it the township that's giving $1 million away. I don't know how they're doing that, but it's on their website here. It's just $1 million giveaway, but it doesn't give you any information about it. Oh, there it is. Let me show you guys this. All right, let me show you $1 million giveaway. They sure did. So that is the reason why I want everybody to not focus. Whenever you guys start seeing stories, please stop focusing on the stuff they want you to. Always look at who's funding this person. Where are they getting the money for this? How are they giving her $250,000 or over? Let's use the number $200,000 per annum. And the city itself only has 20,000 people. And the city is $7 million in debt after she came on board. Here is the Thornton, it is, Tiffany Henyard and the Thornton Township Board. $1 million giveaway in honor of Black History Month. Discover how you can qualify and don't miss out. 2024 application. You must be a Thornton Township resident to be eligible for this program. You must print, complete, and return your application along with the required documents to the Thornton Township Hall. And then you have 48 hours from February the 5th, 2024 to complete and submit your application. Payments will be mailed to you within 30 days upon approval. And here you can click it here. Here's the application. Nothing to win. No, you don't have to do anything to win except for what's been stipulated. Sorry, you guys, that was my heater. I was trying to get it closer, but I guess it felt like it was falling. But there's just the application. What's it all about, Alfie? I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know where their township got that money. It's the Thornton Township Board. Thornton Township, of which Dalton is one of the cities within that township. Does that make sense? As well as the other city that we were just looking at. And mind you, when we were looking at that, the city that we were looking at, I just picked it up randomly. It was Blue Island, Illinois. Blue Island, Illinois is one of the cities in the Thornton Township. This is all it tells us about this. It doesn't give us any other information. It doesn't say why they're giving it. There's no big blurb as to why she's giving away an alleged $1 million. And here's the funny thing. What if that $1 million is just a setup and they are going to give the money to somebody that they already know they're going to give the money to? Let's see here. Choosy says, ironically, John Dunlap specialized in immigration law and is certified in New York and Ontario bar, illustrating the North American Knights of Malta problem. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, you can't qualify if you're an American citizen. Okay, so I don't get it. There's nothing more to learn. And when you go to her Facebook page where she's Chatty Cathy, she doesn't tell you anything there either. I don't get it. Let's go off of that screen. Okay. I would like to go back a little further in the piece with the city. You know why? With the blue hills, blue regal, blue whatever. Here we are. Blue Island. Let me go back a little further. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's look. Oh, you guys can't see. Let me show you the way. Okay, here we go. There. All right. Okay, so let's see. This is just one city, you guys. We're just picking on one city. All right. So this is the location of Blue Island in Cook County, Illinois. That's right there. But all of these cities are under her area of responsibility. Let me see something. What is the largest? I'm doing this for you guys so you all can see it. Let me make sure y'all can still see. Okay, there you go. I asked, what's the largest city? What's the largest township? Now, do y'all see that? 185,000 residents. That's nothing when you want to cram, more people in there. How many townships are there in Illinois? Well, it doesn't matter because that's the largest one. Yep. What are the main attractions? Probably nothing. Let's see. Okay, the largest township of Illinois is Thornton Township, which is home of approximately 185,000 residents. Illinois has a total of 1,428 townships, with Thornton Township being the most populous one. These townships serve as essential units of local government across the state. If you have any more questions or you need any more info, this is called Copilot, and it's something new that they've got over here off of Bing. Anyway, you see it. And it gives you other areas that you can go to. Civicfed.org. What is that? Let's see. I don't think it'll let me bring you over. I have to take it back to here for you to see it. Civicfed.org is an inventory of local governments in Illinois. All right, hold on. Let me cut this and bring it to you guys on this side. Don't forget to hit the like button, family. Okay, the Civic Federation Research Information Action established 1894, an inventory of local governments in Illinois townships. Okay, so I guess this is where it takes you and you look at everything here. Counties in Illinois without a township. Despite townships being the type of local government with the most units, townships are absent in 17 of 102 counties in Illinois. The 17 counties without the township form of government operate under the precinct form of government. Precincts or civil townships are non-functioning administrative units, with the county performing the administrative functions. The 17 counties in Illinois without townships form of government are listed in this little box down here. There's a total of 17 municipalities in Illinois, meaning townships and municipalities share the same boundaries. Okay. All right. That's enough of my little Inspector Gadget. Let's go on to some more stuff here. I'll give you guys some videos to sort of break the monotony from my voice being like this. Okay. Let's break it up some. Let's break it up. All right, here you go. I'm gonna give you this video here. Give you something. Right yonder. There you are.
New at 10, making a political statement with some disco in South suburban Dalton. Take a listen.
This is her.
Ain't no stopping us now.
All right, karaoke night apparently at City Hall. That's Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard kicking off tonight's board meeting with her rendition of the 1979 hit Ain't No Stopping Us Now. The reason for the throwback jam? An appellate court ruling threw out a June recall vote that would have removed Henyard from office.
So what I'm telling you is there's nothing that's going to happen to this woman across the board. Nothing's going to happen. Why? Because there's a purpose. She's got her foot in the door while a whole bunch of other stuff is going on. She may not even know some of the stuff that's happening. She may not even know some of the things that are going on that may or may not have her signature on it. She probably don't even know. Now, she was just there at the White House. That was troubling enough when I saw it. Let me let you see that. All right. Yeah, she was at the White House. Oh, America's most diva president had Tiffany decorate the White House wrinkle. Oh, that Tiffany. Wrong Tiffany. Wrong Tiffany altogether. Let's look. Let me go back over to my other side because if I go back to Chrome, I can maneuver my way around better. Hold on, you guys. All right, and look at how she's getting down. I mean, she was having a good time. A good time. Okay, Tiffany for mayor. They're going to have the other one. Okay, that's the one for her for mayor. People will believe anything about you as long as it's negative, but anything positive they question. It's this girl always the victim. Lord have mercy, baby. This baby, poor baby, she always the victim. Hold on, she's the victim and the hero all at once. She is everything that she does. She's the victim and the hero. That's amazing to me. But nonetheless, let me let y'all see this. Oh, flubber flub. Okay, here we go. No, flubber flub. I was going to say something else. All right, let's look at this. This is her, Tiffany for mayor. But is this her? No, this is her 22 hours ago going on this page. This is her 22 hours ago on her Tiffany for mayor page, I guess for next year. I don't know. But it says 22 hours ago, people will believe anything about you as long as it's negative. But if it's anything positive, they question. And then she states, it amazes me how people try to turn good to evil, but the devil is a lie. We must band together to fight this evil. Better believe one thing is for sure and two things for certain. I will always stand in the fire for my people. And that's an emoji that has her arms built, like muscle. I am giving away $1 million to help people with their mortgage or rent. Okay, so that explains our question that we had a few minutes ago, trying to figure out why she was giving the money away. And is it her money? Because she says it's hers. Is it her money or is it somebody else's money? I don't know. Let's continue to read. And let me make this a little larger. Okay. Yeah. To help with the rent or mortgage. So if you need the help, come out tomorrow and apply. Applications are online and at the front desk. Remember, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it, she says. Somebody says, Hazriel says, you ain't going to be reelected, but you will be locked up. These people are a hot mess. She must have not seen that because she didn't take it away. This person here, she says, tune in. I'm gonna go to something else, but this is just classic hilarious. Okay, so 3 days ago, she says, tune in February 2nd at 5 p.m. on Facebook Live for an exclusive announcement that could change your life. We're unveiling details about our $1 million giveaway. See more if I had clicked that button. This person, Walter Linwinko, said Negro, K-N-E-E-G-R-O-W. Negro is going to the penitentiary. Oh, boy. These people. Poor girl. Poor child. Poor child. And child, they done scrubbed the internet so good. You can't hardly find any more of the stuff about her being arrested unless, of course, you go on Tickery Talk. So let's just go to Tickery Talk. Okay, let's just go on to TikTok. Yeah, let's go over there. Boy. Okay, here you go. Tiffany arrested. This is the one I'll show you, this one. She says she's progressive candidate for mayor. Tiffany Henyard's a progressive candidate for mayor. Boy, this country's trash. I just hate to say it, but we're garbage. We are now garbage. This country.
I am Tiffany Henyard, and I am a progressive candidate for mayor of Dalton.
We talk about patterns. When someone breaks into a home or breaks into a car, they let you know that they will take whatever they want to take. They see something, they go.
This comes from the channel. You may want to check him out. His name is Honey Balkans. Honey Balish. Hungry 2004. Anyway, check this cat out. HANNIBALKINGS. Okay, that's his channel. This is not mine. This is from his channel. Okay, but I do want to listen to what he has to say because, yeah, I just do. Well, first off, let me see if I can find somebody that just has her stuff up there without me having to give them credit or anything, because I don't feel like getting bothered by people. You know, sometimes people don't know you're giving them a shout out.
And I am a progressive candidate for mayor of Dalton.
We talk about patterns. When someone breaks into a home or breaks.
It says arrested July 20th, 2016 at 7:51 p.m. and released the next day at 12:31 a.m. So she was only in there a few hours. She was charged with criminal trespass to vehicles. Okay.
Breaks into a car, they let you know that they will take whatever they want to take. They see something, they go get it. And this is why we see now more of a pattern of her recklessly spending taxpayers' money as the mayor is conducting a $7 million deficit.
All the way until last month, we were receiving.
This right here is the board of trustees. Now, mind you, they cannot meet any longer in their original place because she had wanted them arrested. Why? We'll find out in a few minutes, but let's just listen.
Receiving monthly financial reports. This month, we did not receive a monthly financial report. Last fiscal year through May, the deficit was $2.5 million in our operating account. This year through the report we got, which was September 30th, I pulled that up as you were speaking. So from May through September, there was an additional $4.2 million of deficit.
So roughly right now where they sit, they are about, I want to say $7 million in debt. They're about $7 million in debt, which is why I'm sort of startled that she's able to give away $1 million. And I don't know why she's able to do it, but she is. So let's just finish and let's continue listening. I have to put music on because that has music and I don't want to copyright strike for their music when I'm not using it. So let's go.
You couple those two together, the deficit is growing and it's approaching $7 million.
We can tell that she sees things and she gets it. She wants it, even if it's something that she shouldn't have. And that's the biggest problem we have right now.
And if you have a page, you can just go on over here to HANNIBALKINGS. That's his channel. Honey Balkings. It says city girl mayor buries her residence in $7 million deficit. Yeah, that's what it is. There's a lot of people that have that little thing that she has. Their mugshot. Ooh. Goodbye. Anyway, that's that. So that's that piece. That's that piece. I don't know where she's coming up with that kind of money to give that away with the city is already being so far up in debt. And then I just don't understand how. Yes, I do. I'm answering my own question with our commentary today. The answer that I give is the fact that I know that she is there, but it is that she's put in position specifically for this time so that they can take over that whole township. That's the largest township in Illinois. You can believe that with her at the helm, all of them people that need someplace to go is going to be there. And apparently a lot of the people that are there in that township are elderly, which means they are going to be no longer around after a certain amount of time. So it's either that they're in homes or something like that, or they're ill or something's going to happen and they're going to be a lot more space available. I'm not saying it's going to be anything like the New York mayor and what he did, but I'm just saying something's not going to be, it's not going to prevent them from taking over that area at all. Not at all. Now, there is another story that I want to look into, and it's the illegal in so many ways. It says the controversy surrounding her salary maneuver. We did talk about part of the salary situation another time. at another point. But right now, we're going to look back at a story that's really going to be talking about, hey, how do you get that kind of money? And how are we paying people this kind of money? Let's take a look at this. I don't think they're ever going to have the opportunity to recall her again, by the way. I really don't. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Not at all. I think that she's not going to go anywhere until it's time for her to go someplace. And people thinking she's going to go to jail and all that other stuff, child, please. We've had that promise before. Lock her up, and it never happens. So they're going to say that here, but I feel for the people that are in that township as well as in the county that she's the mayor of. Okay, let's go. Illegal in so many ways, it says. Controversy surrounds Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's salary maneuver. And that is the maneuver that we talked about, where she was going to make sure that people only got a certain amount of money, unless it was her. At the South Suburb politician is under fire for the way that she spends tax dollars. And it's come up with a unique strategy. She's come up with a unique strategy to discourage people from running against her. A South suburban politician has figured out a way to prevent people from running against her. You want to know how she's going to do it? She's going to do it by making the salary go down to $25,000 a year. And you heard me say, according to what we were able to find, she's making $250 a year. Tiffany Henyard is proposing a nearly 90% cut in her position's salary, but only if she's not feeling it. It's just the latest controversy surrounding Henyard, who serves both Thornton Township Supervisor. She's their supervisor, and she's the mayor of the city of Dalton. Thornton Township trustees, Chris Gonzalez, was just sitting down at the start of the township's board meeting 2 weeks ago when he was handed a 7-page proposed ordinance requiring an immediate vote. Gonzalez said that he had no time to read the proposed ordinance. He also adds, and then we get into the meeting pretty quick, he says. Leading that meeting was Supervisor Henyard, who was appointed to the position last year after the death of the longtime supervisor, Frank Zarelli. I'm going to tell you something else. I believe he was taken out and not run because they needed her in that position. Let's move on. Henyard is certainly charismatic, often bringing a DJ to board meetings to make her point. But she's also controversial, spending tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars to promote herself with billboards and purchasing first-class tickets for out-of-town trips. She also uses public employees and vehicles to promote her personal charity and taking Dolton police officers off the street. Now, just this past weekend, there was a terrible shooting in Dolton. Over the weekend, and they still have no details about how that happened. Let's take a look at that. I don't want to read any more of this other stuff. We already saw she's illegal. We know. Let's look at this. She has them managing her. She has the police officers taking care of and protecting her. 4 people were shot in South suburban Dalton this week, in the middle of the day in a busy parking lot on Sibley Boulevard. Days later, information about what happened remained scant, and the search to find the shooters continued. The shootout happened Wednesday morning at the AutoZone parts at 1110 Sibley Boulevard at University Avenue. A number of people ducked for cover and ran. 2 days later, many were trying to find out more about what happened. Quote, "It's very scary," says Reverend Sierra Bates Chamberlain, the executive director of Live Free Illinois, because it could have been someone driving up the street to see a family member or trying to go to work. Reverend Bates Chamberlain spoke as she stood outside the AutoZone parking lot Friday, 2 days after the 4 people were shot there. Here's another part of the quote. Typically, the narrative is that it happens if you're involved in a certain lifestyle or if you're in a certain area. Well, this is on a very busy strip, and bullets were flying and people were impacted, closed quote. Those people who were impacted dodged bullets and won answers at the scene. Cars were left riddled with bullet holes while police evidence markers numbered more than 40. Quote, It's devastating when an everyday business in broad daylight, there's gunshots ringing. This was from Bates Chamberlain. AutoZone closed on Wednesday and got right back to business there on Thursday morning. And while the scene was cleared some time ago, police have said nothing at all about what happened. CBS 2, the author of this piece, reached out to Dolton Police several times this past Friday on the phone and in person. Dolton Police, as of late Friday afternoon, still haven't shared any information on the shooting or their investigation. This is something, Reverend Bates Chamberlain says, it is important when it comes to ringing the alarm on gun violence. Well, you know what? Y'all gonna go on ahead and keep with that gun violence conversation. And you guys definitely gonna find you're gonna need your weapons out there. You guys have some of the strictest laws in the state of Illinois, and you guys have more violence than anything. But anyway, let's continue. She says, ringing the alarm on gun violence as a continued issue in Chicago's south suburbs. You don't know what's happening, who's doing what, because the data and the information is not available. The city should be held accountable to be transparent with the information. CBS 2 has been checking with the Dolton Police throughout the day, and if and when they provide more information on the shooting, it will be posted. Well, here's the skinny. How are you the mayor and you have hired or you have put your majority of your police department on a detail of protecting you as if you are, one of the Obama children or Chelsea Clinton or something like that? How is it that you have the ability to have the entire police force at your beck and call? Amy Duran, it's good to see you, Princess. I'm glad to see you. I was interceding for you last week, sweetheart. I'm so happy to see you. I have to stop and acknowledge one of my members here. I'm so glad that you're here, Precious. Good to see you. And I see people are loving on you. So that's the OG crew. We're the OG crew. We're the OG crew over here. So I'm just amazed at how we're looking at all this going on the way that it's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have the police working for you as if they are your Secret Service detail. You guys are driving around in black SUVs that is to the tune of $149,000, as one report showed that the vehicle was $92,000, and I think it had interest of like upwards of 50 some odd thousand. Anyway, my point is they don't know what happened there in Dalton. They don't understand why they had that shootout in the middle of the day. But to me, the silence of the police speaks volumes. This speaks volumes. That ain't nobody talking. You ain't got but 20,000 people in the city. So why is this so hard? Yeah, man, this is a mess. And I really wish that that Black folks would stop allowing themselves to be used as pawns in these types of situations by getting in these jobs and these positions, knowing darn good and well they're not qualified for it. This girl is not qualified, but they'll definitely allow her to take the fall for it, and she will be the fall guy. It's not even, listen, I'm not putting anything up to talk about her specifically, more so than I am what the agenda is behind her placement. That piece. So now, here we are. This was 6/16/2023. Don't know how true this is and don't know if it's going to happen or not, but just to show you how much trouble these people's child is in, let me show you where it says the FBI had started a probe. So the FBI probes Tiffany Henyard's administration, while Thornton Township spending is also at an issue. It's part of the issues. All right. It was only a week ago that the editorial board of the South Suburban News presented an editorial regarding Tiffany Henyard as her leadership in the Southland community of Dalton, where she serves as mayor, in addition as she serves as the Township Supervisor of Thornton Township. It was shortly after news report on Fox News Chicago where questions were raised about her CARES charity and questions about the public funds allegedly being laundered by the charity, according to the reporting. OMG. Words like laundered, those are strong accusations that they levy against her. FBI probes Tiffany Henyard's Dolton administration's Thornton Township spending. Also at issue, those interviewed say. Now, it says these concerns apparently began over the last year or so and coincided with the tenure of Henyard in both municipalities. Misuse of public funds has brought down many public figures in Illinois politics, and so it's no surprise that many are beginning to scratch their head over what is next in the now snowballing Henyard saga. According to individuals interviewed by investigators, they were questioned about the hiring of cronies and exuberant salaries, practices of merging the use of credit cards between Dalton expenses and Thornton expenses, as well as missing funds. That is majorly illegal. You can't commingle those funds. They're commingling funds. So that's how she can give herself that big old salary. Wow. Okay. They say there were several questions regarding spending that occurred involving purchases of clothing and other personal items on the municipal credit cards for trips. Though the hiring of individuals with shady backgrounds may not be illegal, there were allegedly concerns surrounding whether or not kickbacks were a part of any hiring arrangements. Quote, they asked me about several areas that have been of concern for some time, said one woman who wished not to be identified for fear of harm. Well, and also for fear of the fact that she does a lot of retaliation. She retaliates against a lot of people. It goes on to say that she went on to say that she believes it has been the public that has alerted the investigators to Dalton and Thornton due to something as simple as townships going from $2 million in the black to now running a $2 million deficit. Again, remember the date of this article is June 16th, 2023. So it's 7 million right now. Henyard has long been considered an eccentric and socially eclectic political presence in Dalton. Her seemingly ghetto fabulous presentation bucks the decorum of the council meetings with music from a DJ from time to time, as well as rumors of chitterlings being given away to families during food drive giveaways. Help here, not chitterlings. Oh my goodness. Only in America would there be a black mayor giving away chitlins. Spending of tax dollars on giveaways is another area of questioning, said a man who was questioned. He told the South Suburban News that there were issues that dealt with whether or not the village or the township were following of Office of Management and Budget protocols, as it is involved various programs in the village and township, not to mention in everyday business practices. He says, quote, I never thought I'd be questioned, and it really caused me to take stock of what I have been involved in around these people, he explained. I told the truth, and the chips will land where they land. The people like her, but I think, this is a quote, I told the truth, and the chips will land where they land. The people like her, but I think it is just that they don't know or care about what is really going on. What is also concerning is the Board of Trustees of both bodies may be taking on liabilities that they may later have to defend if they have been complicit in their ignoring the practices that may be fiscally responsible, or worse yet, illegal. Basically, they're sitting around knowing the things that's going on, maybe or may not. But here's the deal. If you were in a position and you should have known, do you know that you're still guilty if you act like you don't know, or if you get in trouble for something and you say, well, I didn't know, but you should have known? being in the position that you're in, you should have known. So it's like a lot of these people that are on the boards of both the township as well as the city, they're doing some things and they're just being complicit, being silent just to get along with everybody, going along to get along. And while they're going along to get along, they're making themselves complicit in their ignoring the practices that may be fiscally irresponsible or worse yet, illegal. Our phone calls to the Illinois FBI office ended with the usual. We do not comment on whether or not we are investigating. That's what it said in the story. So, as far as people saying that the FBI is looking into her, that there's an FBI probe, the timeline sounds about right. Waiting to get up enough evidence, watching her enough, looking at the people that she's put in place. I hear there's a guy that she's put in place that's not good news. One of her right-hand man, allegedly. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna put all the links down there. None of the stuff is dressed right now. 18th letter. I haven't dressed my my description as yet, but I will. And so when I do, you go ahead and do it. Michael Powell. Hey, how you doing? Yes, allegedly. But that's what they say. They said that they're doing a probe. So what happens in a general probe is that they do start watching from a certain time if there's any validity in this, okay? Because it says that they say they don't give any responses as to whether or not they are or are not investigating anyone. And the story says that they've prompted a probe. So we're going to say, as Michael Powell, one of our mods, say here, it's alleged. So what does that look like? Again, it takes them some time to gather enough information to even validate whether or not there's there's any there. So it takes them a minute before they start looking and digging and plundering and adding stuff together, subtracting, and putting it all up, showing you exactly what's going on with the case, if they have a case or not, which is the reason why they do a probe in general. The reason why they do a probe in general is because of that. Now, Tiffany Henyard started a cancer charity. And the cancer charity is what they said was being used to funnel the monies. That's what they said, that they were using that allegedly to move that money over and by laundering. Remember when we talked about the laundering term? That's what that was about. So let's look at that, because I think it's important to note that her charity was not even, done correctly. It didn't even go to the state. It wasn't even registered with the state, but yet she was taking monies from it. And let's just read this. We'll see it together. Suburban politicians' cancer charity fails to file financial records. Tiffany Henyard holds 2 elected offices and runs a charity for cancer patients. However, the Illinois Attorney General's office says her namesake foundation has failed to file basic information about it, and it collects and spends money. About how it collects and spends money. WGN Investigates found the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation also benefited from the money, manpower, and the promotion of the village of Dalton and Thornton Townships, 2 municipalities led by Henyard. Township credit cards show charges totaling $10,248 for hotels along the route of a Tiffany Henyard Cares walk from Dolton to Springfield in 2022. Quote, "There's a long list of hotels, meals, and more," Trustee Chris Gonzalez told WGN Investigates. He continues, "I saw the video. Township vehicles are being used. Township employees are being used. Were they paid? Were they given comp time?" is the question that he asks. The event occurred days after the township trustees were asked to approve a $10,000 payment to her charity. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. $10,000 payment was given to her charity that is not registered with the state. So if it's not registered with the state, even though it may be a nonprofit organization, you still have to hire workers. So how are their taxes being taken out if they're workers working for your nonprofit? Because even though it's a nonprofit, you're workers. You getting $10,000 charity payments. That means that there's a lot of money coming in from a lot of directions. That's why they said that they were looking at it for laundering. Neither Henyard nor her foundation's registered agent, Keith Freeman, bingo, bango, bad news bear, stranger danger, bad news bear. This guy, okay? All right. Father pleads guilty. Whew, what was that? Okay, there it is. Scrutiny. As far back as 2023, there was some scrutiny about her hiring this guy. Well, let's go on ahead and pull that story up as well, and then we'll cover it as soon as we're done reading this one, because I do know that they are talking about him. Yep. I'm not reading that story. Keith Freeman is the story that I want. Hold on, you guys. Brian Keith. Oof. All right. Let me just finish reading this. Keith Freeman is a registered agent for her company, but he is the one that they say allegedly has had a lot of brushes with the law, that he's been involved in a few things that are less than surly or less than legal or have had illegal outcomes. Let me just say that. And again, I don't know for sure. It says neither Henyard nor the foundation's registered agent, Keith Freeman, responded to requests for comment. Freeman also serves as Henyard's village manager in Dalton and her advisor in Thornton Township. Quote, I think it's just about personal gain and trying to use it as a publicity type thing, Trustee Gonzalez said when he was asked for his viewpoint of Henyard's charitable efforts and failure to file required financial disclosures. The Illinois Attorney General sent the foundation a warning letter in mid-December demanding it produce the required financial disclosures by January 12th of 2024, but received no response. According to a spokesperson for the Attorney General, Kwame Raoul's office, the foundation now faces the possibility of fines and the ousting of its officers. Public databases show the charity is a 501c3 organization with tax-exempt status, but has also not filed information about its fundraising or expenses with the IRS. Quote, there's no foundation in Illinois. There's no foundation in the state of Illinois moving like we're moving, Henyard is heard boasting to participants during her 2022 cancer walk in a video posted on the front page of the Thornton Township's website. Meeting minutes show Henyard also promoted the charity during the government meetings. Here's another quote. Supervisor Henyard mentions that she's real big on cancer foundations. And she created Henyard Cares Foundation, which is helping everybody within the 17 municipalities. 17 municipalities is up under her. With services and resources such as chemo, radiation, wigs, breasts, even help with housing. Minutes from the township. 2022 September 7 meeting read. That's part of the notes. Henyard routinely shouts down questions about how tax dollars are being used in both Dalton as well as the Thornton Township. Quote, I shouldn't have to sit up here and break all this down, Henyard said to the trustees who requested more information about expenses back in November. Henyard was equally cagey when pressed by WGN Investigates to explain the thousands of dollars spent on a trip in Las Vegas in which taxpayers were billed for hotels, meals, and high-end restaurants, first-class travel, and other expenses. Dalton and Thornton Townships have stopped responding to public records requests from WGN Investigates. Wait a minute, how can you not respond to FOIAs? Isn't that illegal? Wait a minute, aren't FOIAs public of information? Isn't it free information that's supposed to be? Anyway, let's keep going. So Dolton and Thornton Townships have stopped responding to public records requests from WGN Investigates made under the Freedom of Information Act. Dalton, they're going to close the whole damn city down. I can't say it no nicer. Close the whole city, close the whole township, close all the offices, bring in somebody else, because you know that's what you want to do anyway. Just bring them in now, bring them all in, put these people where they belong, put the black folks that's watching this continuously out of our miseries. Just get on with it. I mean, just get on with it. How much longer are we going to suffer through this stuff? They're breaking law after law after law. And if I can read about the laws that are being violated, and I'm taking off my earrings, I wish I had some Vaseline to put on my face because I'm ready to fight. I don't understand how we're able to see this over and over and over and over and over again, time and time again, from the highest office in the land, president, all the way down to these little townships in comparison to the United States, right? All the way down to the cities and to the townships. How are we able to see all of this illegal stuff and ain't nobody put on a Superman cape, swept in there and took them out? Now, y'all know I get on my rants every now and again, and I'm telling you right now, I am on one because I'm tired of it. Every time you turn around, this is what we see. They haven't responded. The DA of Fulton County didn't respond. In August, Fulton County's DA did not respond to the federal government saying, yo, we gave you 488,000 bones. Where's our receipts? Show us what you did with the money. She ignored them. September, they asked her again, hey, we got a whistleblower notification to say y'all down there fumbling around with the money that we sent you guys to prevent the kids from going into gangs. Can you please show us your work? She ignored them. December, they asked her the same thing. Now that they're asking her again, in 2024, everybody and their mama want to run around and accuse them, Jim Jordan specifically, of attacking her because of Mr. Naranga, the orange man. Not so. Not so. They are ignoring every single thing that they are supposed to be doing. How do you allow somebody to go this long and for us to have knowledge of it publicly, all the way down here in little old bitty Alabama? How do you do all of these things and nobody has anything to say about it? What is going on? This right here says that the Dalton and the Thornton Townships have stopped responding to public records requests under the Freedom of Information Act. Do y'all realize those are FOIAs? That's a FOIA. And a FOIA, you can't ignore it. It may take time for them to give you the information. You may not want to give them the information, but the point is they have to give the information. But they don't even respond. It says, Dalton Village Clerk Allison Key, a Henyard critic who was previously responsible for responding to records requests, said Freeman stripped her of that power in December. You can tell when somebody is just a crook, allegedly, because they don't know anything. They don't know nothing about law. They don't even know anything about parliamentary procedure. They don't even know how you're supposed to conduct yourself in government. No parliamentary procedures, no information, no knowledge, nothing. Just you know what? Just don't let her do that no more. Don't let her be able to respond to the public of freedom of information. Don't let her give nobody no information. If you say she ain't supposed to do it, she ain't supposed to do it. You idiot. In Thornton Township, one of the people responsible for fulfilling public records requests is reportedly Henyard's cousin. Let that sink in deep into the recesses of your mind. Let it sink so deep till it goes through the recesses. In Thornton Township, one of the people responsible for fulfilling public record requests is reportedly, allegedly, we done heard in the grapevine, Henyard's cousin. WGN Investigates has appealed to the Illinois Attorney General's office to require the two municipalities to comply with transparency laws, which is a problem that she seems to have, because when people think that they're above the law, see, poor babies, poor people, poor people. I guess you get these people who are from, certain communities or whatnot, and all they think of as the highest is the mayor. And I think they can hear about the president, but they think that a mayor is the big boss. Do you know that there have been mayors that have been thrown up under the jail? Countless mayors. Countless. Right there in Illinois. Right there in Illinois. Crackheads and all. Oh, yeah, they have been. But it's just embarrassing to see that it's my people that act this stupid. We're going to take another look before we get out of here because I got a bunch of stuff that we're going to look at. But yeah, it's yikes. They're building a really nice case. If there is any investigations going on, this is the Dolton mayor, Tiffany Henyard, pretending like she is dressed up like Nino Brown from New Jack City.
Nobody knows something.
Don't nobody know nothing? What up with this? Somebody got to know something was going on.
So that's the clip from the actual movie from that's the clip from the actual movie New Jack City. And so she's walking around pretending like that's who she is. You see the clothes, she's got on the hat and everything that he had on. So that's it. That's her. She's a hot rump mess, but hey, what can you say? Let's get on to the next one because I think I'm just done. So she was actually accused of civil rights violations. Civil rights violations. All right? Civil rights violations. Okay, let's get into that. Civil rights and retaliation. That's possibly where the civil right violation comes in, is retaliation. So let's see. Okay. Dalton's Mayor Tiffany Henyard accused of civil rights violations in a federal lawsuit. This was dated January 25th, 2024. So here's the deal. Now she's getting into where she's breaking laws that are not just local and not just jurisdictional, but she's crossing over into different titles in the law. And that is where the rubber's going to meet the road for her. And if it doesn't, then we already know what time it is in this country. In Section 1983, in a Section 1983 lawsuit filed in the Northern District of Illinois, Dolton, Illinois, Mayor Tiffany Henyard and several Dolton police officers, Hobson, DeVries, and Harris, are accused of civil rights violation, which include First Amendment retaliation, Fourth Amendment wrongful arrest, Fourth Amendment malicious prosecution, Monell claims under the First and Fourth Amendments, state malicious prosecution and indemnification claims. Quote, I'm going to read it as a quote. We urge each and every person whose civil or other rights were violated by this mayor and township supervisor, her police department, or private security force to contact an attorney and file similar lawsuits ASAP, close quote. The allegations from the lawsuit are that Henyard weaponized the Dalton Police Department to silence criticism of her. Henyard had Dalton police arrest a person for removing a flyer from her own vehicle's flipping windshield. Henyard had Dalton police remove a person from a public meeting because this person looked at Henyard. Henyard and Dalton police removed a person from another meeting because of a fake police report Henyard filed against her about the person daring to look at her at the previous meeting. Henyard generated a police report from a meeting at Thorn Ridge High School because she was simply sitting in the audience. Other continued instances similar to the above counts, the count 1, First Amendment retaliation, Fourth Amendment false arrest, Fourth Amendment malicious persecution, Monell claims under the First and Fourth Amendments, state claims under malicious prosecution. The law, state law and indemnification claims. My mind is moving so fast. I can't even hardly read. Nonetheless, here's the actual lawsuit here. This is the complaint, and everything that's in it. The plaintiff, Stephanie Weidman, plaintiff by and through her attorney, Melinda Power of West Town Law Office, and Madeline Townsend of the Office of Madeline Townsend, complains against Tiffany Henyard, Village of Dalton, and the Dalton police officer, officers Hobson, DeVries, and Harris, stating the following. The plaintiff, Stephanie Weidman, as a resident of Thornton, Illinois, in Cook County in the Northern District of Illinois. The defendant, Village of Dalton, a municipal, so they're going to get sued. The city getting sued. Are they running a civil suit against these people? I don't know. Let's just keep looking. Defendant, Village of Dalton, is a municipal corporation duly incorporated under Illinois law and is the employer and principal of the defendant officers. Dalton is being sued by a mono theory of liability, as well as on an indemnification theory of liability for defendant officers and defendant Hilliard. Oh, I don't even read anymore. I'm so tired of seeing it. I can't. You guys will look at y'all. Dig it up in a few minutes. When I release it, you guys go ahead and get it out of the description, and you can look at it. I just can't read no more because I can't believe that people are this stupid. I cannot believe it. I have a hard time believing it. But that's what it says. You can see it here for yourself. See it for yourself. Defendant Tiffany Henyard is the mayor of Dalton and the supervisor of Thornton Township as a resident of Cook County in the Northern District of Illinois. At the time of these occurrences, Henyard was acting in her official capacity and under the color of law. Henyard is being sued in both her individual, and her official capacities. That's why I was wondering if it was in civil as well. So that answers that question. Defendants Hobson, DeVries, and Harris are employed as law enforcement officers by Dalton, and at the time of these occurrences were acting within the course and the scope of their employment under the color of law. Jurisdiction and venue, it breaks all that down. Here's the facts. All right. She started working in 2002. Wow. Stephanie Weidman had been a resident of Cook County since 1980. The plaintiff started working for Thornton Township in 2002 and worked in various positions with the township until March of 2022. The Village of Dalton is in the Thornton Township. Dalton holds bi-monthly meetings for the Dalton Board of Trustees, which runs the village in coordination with the Dalton mayor. These meetings are open to the public, and members of the public are allowed to attend and to comment during specified public comment sections. As a politically engaged resident of Thornton Township, plaintiff frequently attends these meetings and shares her thoughts on the matter of subjects concerned during the public comment section. Tiffany Henyard, elected mayor of the Dalton, and becomes the center of controversy, is what this is. Wow. In February of 2021, Tiffany Henyard was elected as the mayor of Village of Dalton. In Henyard's first year as mayor, she took a number of actions which generated substantial controversy, such as forming her own personal security detail of 3 full-time Dalton police officers paid for by the Village of Dalton, decreasing the number of officers available for routine law enforcement. Well, we see that because last weekend you see the gunfight out there outside of the parts store. It also says that she's using public funds to pay for billboards, prominently featuring Henyard's name and image, altering and advertising for local Dalton public events and programs, and prominently feature her. I can't. All right, you guys will get a hold to it. Let's see what else we haven't looked at. What else haven't we looked at? We looked at this one. We've already looked at that. We looked at this one. Yeah, the $1 million. I want to see what the people say about it, though. I want to see what the people say. Are there any audio or video of that? That's what I want to see. I want to see what the people say about her giving away $1 million, because it's still not clear Yeah, I think this is a video you guys can see. Hold on a second. Let me get you this. All right, and let you get a hold to this. Right, now I'm sharing it to you.
Specially tuned off-road drive mode.
I don't want to see the ad. That's what I don't want. Don't want to see the ad.
The CX-50. We're looking for
Don't want to see the ad.
outsiders.
Scratching their heads tonight after Dolton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard promised $1 million giveaway, which turned out to be public funds. Henyard posted a message on her personal Facebook page earlier this week asking people to tune in to a live Facebook broadcast last evening for an announcement that she said could change their lives. $1 million giveaway in honor of Black History Month. Well, turns out the $1 million is part of the General Assistance Fund administered by Thornton Township, which is used for food pantries, senior services, and other social programs. But Henyard did spend much of the 75-minute speech criticizing her media coverage.
It's a shame that you do get dragged in the media for things people just say, hearsay. And I just wish that people would check facts before you judge. Don't judge anybody, because at the end of the day, you cannot judge anybody.
Fox 32's done a number of stories questioning Henyard's use of taxpayer dollars for extravagant spending on trips, hotels, and restaurants, playing games with her salary, and using village and township employees to support.
Hot mess. That's all I know. Hot mess. Let's see if we missed anything else. I think we got everything, you guys. I think we covered all the tabs that we had up for this. Yeah, because we even talked about the police not having any of the details from this last week's shooting. Because they're not saying anything, I think that there's more to be learned about the circumstance. If the police were saying something, being forthright and forthcoming with the information, I don't think there'd be a problem at all. But I think that by them not saying anything, they know something. They know a lot more than a little bit. Let's just put it that way. All right, y'all. That's all I'm going to do talking about this chick. How can you go from being arrested for car theft, breaking into parked cars? I don't know. And then how? Whoa. Let me back up. I want to reiterate that you and I were together when we looked and found that there is one city, particularly probably the whole area, that in 2020 had 11,500 Hispanics in that community, and that the preponderance of that city was other than Black or white. And that this is more than likely the reason and the purpose for them pushing her in that office, so that way they can do the back work to get lots of things passed and done for that to be the newly populated area. Maybe we can look a year from now. Maybe we can look 3 years from now, and we'll see that this area is all immigrants. All immigrants. And the majority being illegal aliens. Because we don't have anything against people who come here legally. We don't have anything against immigrants. We don't have anything against any of that. I just have a problem with people using the word asylum and everybody just running here because they can use that word, and because we have sort of written our laws to get us in a place where we're in a corner because of words. Because of words, we're in a corner. We've painted ourselves into a corner because of some words, and that's a problem. So keeping that in mind and remembering that as much stuff as they throw on the wall about this young lady, it is not all about her. It is rather about an agenda being realized and pushing an agenda in that area. And just for now, it's making some comical information for content creators. It's making a whole lot of people chuckle, shake their head, and laugh. But the crazy, creepy part is They won't be laughing here in another couple of years. They may not be laughing as soon as next year. They may not even be laughing as soon as the end of this year because of the high influx of individuals that are coming into Chicago, that are coming into New York, that are going into Los Angeles. By the way, Los Angeles just allowed their DACA people to become police officers. And they just had a couple of graduations with individuals who were here illegally and whose parents brought them here illegally. So they just made them police officers. So let me give you what my assessment is, and what I think I should say over the next few years, and why we're seeing all this unrest. The reason why we're seeing all of the people come in here, and the man that had the guy who just beat up the police officers, those fellas. The reason why everybody was released except for one, if you read the news article, it'll show you that everybody was released except for one. That one person already had a pending case of physical violence and all this other stuff. He could not be released on his OR the way the other people were, because he already had a pending case. The majority of these people that are throwing up the FU finger and that are telling people, cussing out the police officers and trying to beat them up and all of that, these people are militarized aged men who were brought here for the purpose, and the purpose specifically is to wait until an appointed time before they are in a position to do just what they were brought here to do against the American people, because we are at war from the inside out. Every law that has ever been penciled in, every law that's ever been written in with an ink pen, all of those laws are set in place to diabolically destroy America at its core. And there's a lot of people who say, well, I'm not a part of this and I'm not a part of that, or I this or I that. I get all of that. But the point is that it does affect you. Whether you want to believe it or not, it affects you. Whether you vote or don't vote, having these individuals in place in a position of power, which is what is really happening quite rampantly. I mean, quite rampantly. Having those folks in power, having people who don't have our values or our core values. See, all they want is the land here. All they want is this space. They want the original inhabitants gone. And then they want all the people that they allowed to come in by immigration years ago gone, because they somehow got indoctrinated into that crazy thing called freedom. So they don't want any of them there. What do they want? They want a bunch of people who want to say thank you and take all of the free subsidies and stuff that they're giving, so that they feel indebted, so that when they give them that fake license, then when they give them a fake license, which is going to be a real license, and when they give them the opportunity to vote, they will vote, and they will vote the direction they want them to. And it will all be on paper legal. This country is literally making the illegal legal by way of the pen, by way of ignoring the law. Our law, as it relates to the Constitution, as it relates to all the amendments, that stuff's dead. All that stuff's thrown out the window when you consider the stuff that's being done right now that can harm the biggest to the littlest, the most rich all the way down to the most impoverished. The things that are being ignored, the things that are being allowed, the sanctuary that's being given, all of these things in one way or another touch every single person that you know. And if it has not, it will. All they needed was the space, all of the topography, all of the United States. All they wanted was the space. That's it. They don't care about the people. They just want the land. That's all they care about, is the land. Well, they can fill it with bodies. They've shown you that. They don't have a problem filling it with bodies. Not at all. Not at all. And that's exactly what's going on. And that's the reason why they're able to use young Black people who finally feel like they've been given the opportunity to show themselves. I am finally arrived. I've arriven. That young girl doesn't know anything about being a mayor. She doesn't know anything about being a librarian. She can't even manage an AM/PM. She's probably always been somebody who's had to argue every chance she got to prove that she was who she was supposed to be, always into something. That's the reason why she got into mischief, running around taking stuff out of people's cars. And now you expect somebody who was running around, and when I say you expect, I mean the citizenry expects somebody who was running around breaking into folks' parked cars to all of a sudden have a sense of scruples. All of a sudden they've got morals. Now all of a sudden they respect other people and their property. You expect that person to expect the property of others? How? How is she? Where did she get the presence of mind to respect other people's money while she's working in a position of being the mayor or being the supervisor of the township? If she did not expect somebody's parked car, do you really think she's going to respect somebody's money? She didn't respect nobody's parked car. She was breaking windows to get in, using a Slim Jim. However she did it to get inside the car, to take the car or whatever was in it, she had no respect then. And now they marvel at the fact that she is running amok on all the money. That she's given $1 million away of money that is supposed to be earmarked for other things. If it's coming from the township or the city, that meant that that dollar amount that she's taken the whole of the money when it had been compartmentalized to be put into other things. She's taken all of the money and put it as $1 million. I guarantee you it ain't gonna be nobody that they know in that city that gets that money. Mr. and Mrs. Nunez, Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Umbolto. Okay, it's gonna be somebody not from there. If they give the money away at all, if she's not using that money to pay the taxes on her organization, allegedly. Yeah. So beware, be aware and beware, because that's exactly what this is. This is just a mess because they need to have that space. All of the United States, they want all the land. They want all the land. They want as much of the land as they can get. You see, in Hawaii, you have people building bunkers, but they still wanted the land. Certain parts of California, they wanted the land. And they went about it in a very unique way, so much so that there were trees still standing. We're only feet away. Homes were burned to the ground. You let that sink in. We are at war from the inside out. It's not about black or white. It's not black against white. It's not white against black. It's not woman against man. It's not man against woman. And if you do subscribe to that theory or that mindset, then it's working. If you subscribe to the divisiveness that has been created, then it's working. We are at a war with our own laws brought on by legislation with ink pens and Blackberries. And if you know, you know. If you remember, then you remember. If you heard me say that, you know, you know. So this is war. That's the reason why you have those cats from those were not Mexican dudes. They looked like they were Guatemalan or someplace from Colombia. The one that threw the FU finger up to the police there in New York, those folks. One had, and shout out to Anton, because even though this was going to be the program that I was doing today, he did something about this earlier where he was talking about some of the guys had a cross right beside his eye. And he was saying how different it was when they used to have the teardrop beside the eye. But he was saying that when they got that cross beside the eye, they're even more, more treacherous than the guys that used to have the teardrop. So there's no surprise why. The reason why we're seeing this is because they're here for war. That's why they're here. Please let your mind understand that that's the reason why they're here. They're not here to seek asylum. Do you truly and honestly believe those cats had a problem fighting off somebody. The way they was beating the snot out of those police officers, do you honestly feel like they was in fear for their life? Or maybe some psychologist will come out and after I've said this, which is not uncommon, every time I say something, all of a sudden I see somebody else coming up with a reason why. Maybe they'll say, well, that's the reason why, because they were just so afraid. They were so afraid from what they experienced. And this is like psychological. It's the part of the PTSD. And so partially what happened was they were having a flashback. Well, the police told them to move it along. And that's the reason why they beat them up like that. And all these idiots will run around and believe it. They won't understand that, this is what they're really here for. And since they've already been pumped and trained before they cross that border, with what they want them to do when they say on your mark, get set, and when they say go, they just had, they were just like, well, bump it. We're going to do what we want to do. That's the reason why them cats was released. And it don't have nothing to do with Bragg. It don't have nothing to do with the district attorney or the mayor. It don't got nothing to do with them people. Those people are not standing down for anything other than those who line their pockets with the money. They ain't standing down because they a wimp. They ain't standing down because people say, oh, they're anti-American. They not standing down for nothing but the almighty dollar. Because somebody put money in their pocket and said, here, KNEEGROW, Negro, we're going to put your face as the city's spokesperson. But what we're going to do is give you the money to let us use your face, and we're going to run amok in the background. And they know how easy Black folks are. They know how easy some folks are to take that money and run or to hide from the photo or the audio that's been crafted to publicly lambaste, harass, or have them arrested is. And so because they know about the power of that information and media spreading their business around, even if they was drunk and happened upon a club and happened upon a hotel room later and ended up spread eagle with the wrong person, baby, they gonna take that money. Just so happens they're gonna use enough Black folks so they ain't got to deal with putting no more of them in place. They don't got to bring you back. They don't have to let you run. They don't have to even let you register for anything, especially when it relates to them having the ability to prevent you from doing something on paper or on computer. You can say, I registered. I don't know why I'm not even on the ballot. Well, we don't know either. But apparently you could miss the deadline, so we wish we could. Here are 3 people that you can vote with. You can vote for Mrs. Gonzalez, Mr. Patel. You can vote for these folks. They're just as good. Tell them what you want, even though you didn't make it to the deadline. Baby, this place is being changed. That's the reason why you don't even have any sign or any symbols that there was a civil war that dealt with the North and the South in the way that it originally was. That's the reason why you don't see anything that looks like you no more. Black folks are the main people that turn right around and allow them to use the word racism, a man-made word, to take their faces and the history and all the treachery and everything that's ever happened to them out of the history that you know of today. Now you're going to have this month Black History, and they're only going to let you talk about the same folks that they paid for to be famous. Because I'm going to tell you something, the real heroes, you don't know who they are. Only the people in the neighborhood know who they are. But guess what? Somebody above them prevented them from even becoming famous enough to be known. Why? Because if you knew about them, then you follow them. And if you follow them, then then you ain't going to follow the ones that want to control you. You're going to follow these over here telling you to think with your own mind. So the real heroes is the one that used to stand outside the liquor store when you was walking to school and making sure you didn't even know he was like a guardian standing there making sure you got past all of them bums over there sitting down there playing dice. And when somebody would look at you, little girl, and say, hey, little girl, he said, hey, leave her alone. That was a hero right there. But you didn't know that this cat was actually a very great orator. You didn't know that this cat was somebody. I'm talking to somebody out there. I'm trying to let you understand what we were, what we are, and what we're becoming. We're going to be exactly like what they call us, Black, without a presence, absent of color, void of existence. If you don't believe me, look at the ledger. Look at the ledger. When you're in the Black, you ain't got no debt. When you're in the red, you're seen. Y'all better pay attention. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being with me today. I appreciate you all. Please make sure that you remember to give this a thumbs up. Please, please, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure that you do leave a comment if you choose to come here after it's already published, or if you're watching this in the replay, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out. And tomorrow we are covering, let me look at my notes to show you what we're looking at tomorrow. Tomorrow we're also, well, that's ironic because we are dealing with some immigration stuff, but it's not in the vein that we're dealing with right now. So this ought to be good. You guys just hang out with us tomorrow and see what's coming up. Wait till we put it up so that way you guys know exactly the time. And we'll see you soon. All right, you guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves first, because ain't nobody else gonna take care of you. I'm sure they've proven that to you by now. And then once you're taking care of yourself, you can reach around later and take care of somebody else. But most of all, I want you all to remember to take care of my friend, because my friend is you. Take care and be blessed. Peace.
To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day.